What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about headphones. The SONY WH-1000XM5s. A mouthful, but also an earful, thankfully. And I mean that in a good way. Let's get going. So first things first, let's get out of the way, let's talk price. I pre-ordered the Sony headphones through Amazon, trusty Amazon. They were £379 and they arrived yesterday. Hence why this isn't a full in-depth review, merely a first impressions of what I think of the headphones compared to other potential overpriced headphones that I own. So now we've got price out of the way, let's talk design. There's no getting around it, the XM5s are okay looking. They don't blow your socks off, they don't look too premium, however they look clean and they're lightweight, super lightweight. That also adds to the conundrum of making lightweight headphones but trying to make them feel premium. I'm going to mention a set of headphones here once. I know I'm slightly biased. I will do a full comparison, I promise, but the AirPods Max. The AirPods Max feel and look more premium. Yes, it's because of all that aluminium, I know that, or aluminum if you're watching in the States. But when you're spending over £300 on a set of headphones, in the AirPods Max case is over £500, you want premium materials. And while what matters is how they sound, how the noise cancellation and transparency features work, I know that's what matters, but I still want it to feel more premium. And the XM5s, unfortunately, don't feel premium. But along with the design, I have to talk about the touchpads on the side. Really enjoy these. Now, these aren't new for the XM5s, they've been there since XM3s, 4s, but they work much better this generation round from what I could tell in my first day with the headphones. I also like the convenience of covering an ear to activate transparency mode, whereas with other headphones it's pushing a button or going into an app sometimes, which can be very clunky, awkward and frustrating. Other features of the design would include physical buttons, a couple of physical buttons there. So you've got for Bluetooth pairing, again if you want to push a button for noise cancellation you can push it, and within the app I'll just mention here that you can adjust the noise cancellation and transparency mode, like 8 different levels. We'll get into my opinion on the ANC and the transparency mode, but as far as design wise, handy to have physical buttons and the option to just use the gesture. One thing I would say is, I've heard reports that if you pop your hood up, sometimes that can trigger transparency mode. I tried this, it didn't trigger transparency mode for me, but I just thought I'd put it out there. Maybe that's one downfall of having, you know, a gesture controlling your features, but I admire Sony for integrating it in and it working really well for me this time round. Now, I want to stick with design, technically stick with design here, but that is the design of this travel case. Now, for some reason, people think this is an inconvenience that the headphones don't fold up, but I, for one, actually admire getting a nice felt lined travel case with a handy little magnetic compartment for my cables and somewhere safe to keep my headphones. And if you're carrying around a backpack, how can you tell me that this is too big? I don't understand. The old ones, yes, they folded up, but the footprint wasn't that much smaller when you added the cables in and the case size. So yeah, I don't get it. So for design, this is a 10 out of 10 travel case because it does everything you want to do. It is fairly slim. I really like the fact that this slopes down, so if you can imagine a backpack does the same thing. So this is just like a really, really mini backpack, like a small handbag for a woman perhaps, or for a man, or for whoever. Oh. Eggshell territory. So for me, the whole furor around that the headphones don't fold doesn't really bother me. Is it because I'm used to using the other headphones that shall not be mentioned in this video, and they also don't fold? They just swivel the earpiece, sorry, just swivels. I'm used to it, so therefore I like it. Now let's talk about features. As touched on, let's start with the top notch, and I mean top of the food chain transparency mode. The transparency mode is fantastic. It is right up alongside other top-notch headphones, and again you can adjust the levels, you can activate it with a gesture covering one earpiece, or ear cup, sorry. Absolutely love it, works great. Tried that out a few times now, and again when you're not in transparency mode, you're in noise cancelling mode. And if transparency mode is top notch, then for me noise cancellation is above whatever top notch is. I will go out on a limb and say the noise cancellation on the XM5s is better than the noise cancellation on, I have to say it again, the AirPods Max. I'm just putting it out there, but we're talking like, you know, Man City in Liverpool here, or Ronaldo and Messi, A and B. They're both top class. It's probably just down to preference, but for me, after trying it a few times, the noise cancellation works really, really, really well. A super important part of buying headphones is sound quality, so let's talk about sound quality. These are the cleanest sounding Sony headphones I've ever tried, and I've tried most variations of the WH, all variations of the WF series, that's the earbuds. These are the cleanest. These are the best sounding Sony headphones. I can't emphasize that enough. This puts them on a level with other headphones, super premium headphone manufacturers at a much higher cost, but also with their competitors like Apple and Bose. These have almost zero distortion. In fact, I'll just say it, zero distortion at top maxed out volume, which you should never really use, but for testing purposes I did. Sounded clean. Like if you're listening to any anthemic track or with instruments, bit of strings in there, piano, you hear every single note perfectly. If you enjoy a more bassy tone, absolutely deals with it. Almost as good as the AirPods Max, and almost as good as the XM4s. I did see a review earlier that had said that the XM5's bass isn't quite to the standards of the XM4, so a bit of a step back. But again, to me that's preference. There's still a very, very good amount of bass, treble, and again, Sony app you can download for free and adjust your levels to suit more. I keep mine on default most of the time and it works perfectly because I'm certainly no real audiophile. The last thing I want to touch on, again, a super important thing for non-wired headphones, is battery life. Battery life is 30 hours and that's with noise cancellation on. That's really, really, really good. That's admirable considering that the competitors are between 20 and 24 hours. But again, for me, that's still good enough. The fact that they go to 30 is just an added bonus. One other thing included in the battery life is the fast charging capabilities. So included, you've got a USB A to C charging cable. If you plug the headphones in for 5 minutes, that's going to give you another 2 hours of listening time. 2 hours. You plug the headphones in for half an hour, you're at 20 hours of listening time. That's outstanding. love it, great. I mentioned it's a USB-C cable, so you'll have loads of them lying about the house, which is handy. No proprietary cable that you may not have lots of, Apple. So, to summarise, Sony smashed out the park. For me, price, spot on. Spot on. Could have been a bit cheaper, potentially, as there's not as many premium feeling materials, but at the end of the day, they're on your head, they're super lightweight, way more comfortable to wear than the AirPods Max, in my opinion. Not that the AirPods are uncomfortable, they're just that bit heavier. I mean, like 50 to 70 grams heavier. So you feel that on your head after some length of use. That was that. That was my first impressions and first day of using the new XM5s. If you have any questions, pop them down in the comments below. And I will be doing a full comparison between the XM5s and the AirPods Pro Max. So hit subscribe if you want to see that. If you don't, just be like the other 90% of the people who watch my videos. Use me for a view and don't subscribe. See you again soon.